Hi, and welcome to another episode of Hot Takes with me, the Silver Fox, and anything that annoys the Greens is good by me. Now, there is apparently, and I will talk you through this, a loophole in the legislation with regards to short-term lets. Now, the Greens are absolutely up in arms about this loophole. They want it closed. They're saying it's not fair how people can perhaps, own property and make money from it. How dare they? How dare they first own property? These Marxists don't like the idea of private ownership. And secondly, how dare they make money from it? Oh, no. Mustn't make a profit. No. The world must exist on Marxist tendencies. That's the Greens for you. And so they are calling on the SNP to close this loophole. Because, profit? Who knows? Now, what this is, we know that short-term lets have to be licensed. And by the word licensed, they mean controlled and protection racket. Nice short-term let. Shame if anything happened to it. And so by licensing, it means that the government get their little cut of the action. It is little more than that. It is a protection racket. And the Greens want this because they think, oh yes, these people, look at them being rich, owning a property, how dare they? However, this loophole does exist, and it is a fantastic loophole because not only does it exist, it is not a one-time offer. It is a repeatable thing. Now, if, for example, you owned a short-term let, you can transfer the ownership. Now you're thinking, oh well, no. If I do this and do this, I have to pay the the stamp duty, if you like, on every sale of the property. Yes, if you are selling the property, you do. However, not the case of the management. So what you do is you, an individual who is, say, happily married. You individually, male, Mr., for example, we'll start with Mr. for no other reason than I'm a Mr., is the owner of that business. And he said, oh, well, this is my business. I am the major director of this business. And so I am responsible for applying for a short-term let license, the registration. I have 6 months in which to do this. However, should I fail to do it in 6 months, then I'm eligible for a fine. The lets are not transferable. This is the problem. And so if I if I register it in my name and then I let someone else take over, they have to register it in their name. It all has to start again. But they get the 6 months to register it. So what happens? Well, I'll own it for 6 months, and then just before the 6 months is up, I come off and my wife goes on as the director of the company. So then she has to register it. But she gets 6 months. And just before the 6 months is up, and it goes back to me. And then back to her. And then back to me. This is a lovely little loophole. For the sake of £13, which is all it costs to register the change at Company's House, for the sake of £13, you move it across. You don't have to deal with all the bureaucracy. You don't have to deal with all the registration fees. You don't have to deal with anything. £13 once a year. That's what it costs you. You have to do the annual accounts once a year, which has cost you £13 anyway. So you'd already be paying that. But that one change, once a year, £13 extra. £1 a month. Yeah, you can live with that, can't you? When you think about the many thousands of pounds it's going to save you. Of course you are. And of course the Greens hate this. They're saying this can't be right. But what's the alternative? There is no other way of doing it, because otherwise you could never move ownership of businesses. Businesses could never change. They would be neither in flux nor wane or change their form. You couldn't sell or buy a business, not without incurring huge costs. Just as the Greens intend, and even the SNP aren't so moronic as to try and bring that in. Because after all, the only people who can possibly get them out of the hole are businesses, which at the moment are standing back because they're all frightened of what the SNP represents. They've seen the SNP and their anti-business stance, thanks to all those years being lodged with the Greens firmly up their jackses. So the SNP have got to show business that they are pro-business, not basically out to get them. Ain't gonna happen, is it? So the Greens can sit there, stamp their tiny tofu-eating feet and go, yeah, yeah, yeah. Look at us, look at us, look at us finding that other people have found a loophole. Other people who are cleverer, other people who are wiser. It's all bollocks, isn't it? This is the trouble. When you have morons creating laws, these things happen because nobody wants to give a full attention to the details. That's why tax law is so complex. And trust me, after 35 years of being an accountant, I know how complex tax law is. We had one case where the tax law said we must do it, and on the other case it said we mustn't do it. We ended up having to go to the High Court over that one. We won, thankfully, and it saved an absolute fortune in tax. And every other construction company as well. We were the one that did it. Well, we were one of two. We went in with a partnership. But we won the case, and it saved every construction company millions of pounds in tax. HMRC weren't happy, but it isn't our fault when you're given these things, when tax law is so complex. Whose fault is it? The government. And that's what's happened here. The government have created these rules. They've made it so complex. Nobody can work out what's to be done. And so loopholes exist. It's cracking. But the bonus, the absolute bonus, of course, is seeing Harvey, the man that hates private ownership of houses, absolutely apoplectic in anger, having a sheer conniption fit over the fact that some people are out there owning businesses, owning property, making money from it, and it isn't going into him. Of course, he lives in a business in a building owned by someone else. He hasn't got a mortgage. He doesn't own property. He's a nothing. And the thing is, he's stuck by his principles. I refuse to buy property. So when he's thrown out of office and hasn't got a job, how's he going to pay his rent? Who the hell is going to pay Harvey the money he's getting now? He'll be lucky to be doing minimum wage in a McDonald's. God forbid you want to eat anything pass through that weirdo's hands. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. This was a strange but unexpected video. I wasn't expecting this one. It's just a news item that came up. Anyway, till next time, stay safe, stay well, always be nice to your accountant, and take care, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.